about weddings, where we all get to share this beautiful union as a family and friends. And obviously, Lander and Brandon, awesome. You guys are awesome. We love you. Kendall, it has been such a pleasure getting to know you over the last few years. You are now like a daughter to me. I always wanted a daughter, and now I have one, and I look forward to a lifetime of memories as you and Harrison settle into your new lives in Dallas. Now, the story I'm about to tell you highlights the fun that Harrison and I had when he was growing up. In my family, the joke has been told repeatedly for many years is that I tried to kill Harrison 3 times. Now, Harrison always says there were 4. I stick with 3. Anyone who knows me knows that I grew up a tomboy. I was never playing dolls with the girls. I was always throwing dirt clods with the boys and doing boy things. That particular side of me, though, was perfect for raising a boy like Harrison. Because Harrison and I played together his entire life. So, we were both fearless and adventurous, and the 2 of us set off on journeys that sometimes went a little too far. The first time is when I went on a canoe trip with Harrison when he was 5 years old, and his dog Bailey was 6 months old. We had quite a bit of spring rain that year, so the waters were really high. And so I did my little due diligence. I thought I was doing my due diligence. I'm asking the canoe rental place, how bad is it out on the water, And she said, you guys are gonna be fine, you're gonna be fine. So Harrison and I set out, and so what I also didn't know, I thought I had canoed quite a bit and that it was all gonna be fine. And so Harrison's 5, and it was not appropriate to have him in the front of the canoe because the primary purpose of the back position or the sternman is to steer the canoe. However, with Harrison being the bowman or the person at the front of the canoe with no experience, it was difficult for him to fulfill his purpose, which was to provide power, set the pace, and watch for obstacles that the sternman may not be able to see. Well, and their most important job is to alert the sternman when they see an imminent obstacle, like a rock or a stump. Well, let's just say the first set of rapids we came to, we wrapped the canoe around a very large boulder. Water was quickly filling the canoe, and we were obviously in trouble. So what we did next, what do you do in a situation like this? Well, you throw the 5-year-old and the dog up on the boulder, because obviously it's not going anywhere. And thank goodness there were some kayaking angels that day who took Harrison and Bailey to shore and helped me get the canoe unbent so we could be on our way. At this point in the story, you're probably thinking, woo, disaster averted. Well, Harrison and I, if you've ever been down the Texas River, you know that when you are canoeing down the Texas River, it goes on for miles and miles and miles. And so there was also a thunderstorm looming. Every set of rapids we came to, Harrison would cry, "Oh no, Mommy, not again." Then thunderstorm struck, and we hid under the tree as the lightning is crashing down all around us. And what also you don't know is that his dog, Bailey, I should have known this. He was a shelter dog. And so we picked him up at the shelter, and he was like hovering in the back, shaking. And I was like, oh, but he's so cute. Remember, he was so cute.
Yeah. Very cute.
Well, what you didn't know is that Bailey was extremely shy. And so as soon as they set Bailey down on the ground, I remember he turned back and he looked at us like, no way in hell am I getting back in that canoe. The second time I tried to kill Harrison was when he kept getting his
Kendall's take.
We survived the canoe trip. Was when he kept getting these intense abdominal cramps. And I literally took him to the hospital, not once, but twice, to the emergency room. Because I thought he was having an appendicitis attack. And then one day I'm talking on the phone with Preston and he goes, "Now, why do you think it's only happening at your house?" That was a really good question. And right at that moment, I'm looking at a bottle of vitamins. You know, you give your kids iron, vitamins, you think you're doing a great job as a mom, but you don't realize that there are certain things, different vitamins. Looking at the bottom of the bottle and it says, vitamins with iron. The only reason I knew that was a problem is because my mother had told me that some people do not apparently ingest iron well, and it causes these side effects.
Which is me, like, basically dying. Like, felt like I'm being shaved in the stomach. Yeah. Horrific.
Okay, I know I'm going too long, but this is my one moment, my one kid, I'm doing this. Okay. For the final time, I tried to kill Harrison.
If you want to hear the rest, just come find me. There's an icing on this cake. There's carrots on top too. We need to hear more.
So Harrison and I love to go mountain bike riding together. And we were in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and we decided to take a ride down the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. And it was a beautiful day, and we were prepared. We had our backpacks, we had our camelbacks full of water, remember? Had our snacks, you know. Well, this was supposed to be an hour-and-a-half trip down the mountain.
Gosh, what?
The first sign that things were going wrong is I hit a tree stump. And if you have never mountain biked, there's a term called endo. And it's literally where you do a full flip over the top of the bike. My shin bone was sticking out like a mile, remember? But I didn't break my leg, everything was great. Kept going. Well, we got lost. Bad, lost, right? Yeah. Okay, so at one point we were resorting to climbing peaks to see if we could see any form of civilization out there. Yeah. So it's New Mexico, you're in the desert, things are, you know, as soon as things shut down at night, it gets very cold very fast. We had no warm clothing, we had no food or water left, and it's getting freezing cold. Harrison, at one point, I reached for a piece of glass that was on the ground, thinking, you know, oh, okay, survivalist, I'm gonna be a survivalist now, and I'm gonna get this piece of glass to start a fire. Start a fire with a piece of glass. Maybe if the sun's on it, right? So Harrison said at that point that he looked at me and he said, "Mom, I just want to look at you and say, I almost lost it at that point." Almost lost it.
The point of no return.
So, needless to say, that day, Harrison was so great. One of the great qualities about Harrison is that he, in a moment of panic, you know, when the mom is freaking out, whenever, he's just solid as a rock. Solid as a rock. And you would never know that inside he was panicking, you know. He's trying to maintain his cool, and he's actually the one who got us out of that situation and found an opening in the woods and got us to somebody's house that day, and that is how we got out of that situation the third time I tried to kill Harrison.
I followed a deer path. Have you guys ever mountain biked before? It was a deer path.
The deer path.
Through the woods.
Yeah.
That just, lo and behold, led us to like a cabin
Yeah.
of the weirdest person you've ever met. Who like wouldn't allow us to use their facilities. Like we're like, we haven't had water in like 5.5 hours. We're like hiking. We're like, I mean, it was like a dangerous situation.
Yeah.
And she like was like, no.
She gave us a pear.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, she gave us a pear. That's right. A pear and a phone call
Yeah.
that kept us here today.
So by that time, we were 22 miles
Yeah.
from our starting point.
Yeah. Yeah. It was super serious.
Before the days of GPS. Yeah.
In like a 3-hour car ride, because we had to get picked up. Yeah, so we just like sat and waited. I mean, until the middle of the night to get saved.
Okay, I'm almost done. This is the hardest part, kids. I like to be funny. Okay. Harrison, we've had a lifetime of adventures together. You have been the greatest joy of my life. Your sweet, beautiful soul brightens everyone's life who are fortunate enough to call you friend or family. Your love of the family unit is as deep as mine, and you will reap so many rewards in life because of it. You have chosen a beautiful, kind, and intelligent partner who will be there for you to share all of the memories that you're going to have with all of our families combined and our friends, and kindle.
I was eating this.
Harrison, you're the best. Okay, I'm going to cry, so I'm going to cut this short. Thank you so much.
Ja.